Welcome to Reinventing the Arena, the podcast that guides you through the powerful journey of aligning, embodying, and rising into your most authentic self. We dive deep into the transformative power of doing the inner work because the most important relationship you have is the one with yourself. When you align with your authentic self, you naturally attract the relationships and experiences meant for you. I'm your host, Molly Conley, a coach who's passionate about helping you uncover who you truly are using human design, NLP, and self-empowerment tools. Here we explore the art of aligning with your authentic self, embodying your highest potential, and rising above old patterns to create a life that resonates with who you truly are. Whether you're seeking deeper fulfillment in love or your personal journey, this space is designed to inspire your evolution. Together, we'll explore self-discovery, share transformational stories, and uncover the energetic shifts needed to create the love and life you truly desire. This isn't just about change. It's about fully stepping into who you were meant to be. So lady, align, embody, and rise. Welcome to your journey of self-transformation. Welcome to Reinventing the Arena. Hey there, lady. Today is episode 3 of 5 for the Embodiment series. How are you liking these so far? If you'd like, go ahead and send me an email or leave me a review. I'd love to know how these are resonating for you or what's coming up as you've been listening to my stories. And have you been experimenting with your energy? Remember, you can grab your free Energy and Action Starter Kit off my website. There will be a link for that in the show notes if you haven't grabbed it yet. Speaking of grabbing things, make sure to have your chart ready today because I'm going to go through a specific gate, and maybe you have it too. And if you haven't yet, please go back to episode 137 to start this whole series off with the overview, because I'm going to talk about the onion every once in a while and different layers that we have. And depending on what comes up in the story, I might be referring to that. If you are new to human design and maybe to the podcast, welcome. It is always fun to have new listeners. It may be helpful for you to go back to the first episode of 2025, which would be episode 123, Embracing Self-Transformation, Relationships, Empowerment, and Human Design. What I'm going to discuss today is a very specific gate within a center of my chart. This gate is 46, and it's known as the gate for the love of the body. It is found within the G center, which is also known as the identity center, and that is what I'm going to call that today as I discuss this. And this center is undefined for me. If you have gate 46 and you've dabbled in human design, you know that this is not all about self-love affirmations. It's not about yoga to feel good in your body. It's about learning to live inside a body that's constantly changing while your sense of who you are might change right along with it, depending on what looks like in your chart. But before we get there, here's how to find the center in your chart. So at the very top is the head. And then if you move down into the fourth center, that looks like a diamond. This is your identity center. Gate 46 is on the lower right side of the chart. So now check to see if your center and gate is defined or not. Now remember, even if one or both of those are undefined, it's not bad. It's not that something's wrong. You're just going to experience energy differently than someone else when it is defined. I gave an overview of the centers and what it's like when it's defined and undefined in the first day of this series, which was 138. So if you want to, go back and listen to that episode as well if you haven't done that. Plus, when I mentioned this in episode 137, is that you're going to experience energy of having a defined identity center at some point during the year, as well as having that defined gate 46 at some point, because we're going to be experiencing transits, every week or so. And when you encounter other people who actually have that defined in their chart, you will also experience this energy. So the identity center is all about identity, go figure, direction, purpose, and love. When it's defined, there is a consistent sense of who you are and where you're going. When it's undefined, like mine, your identity can be fluid. Direction can shift. And there's things that can shape your identity, specifically your environment and your relationships. That being said, if you do have an undefined identity center, you understand other people's sense of self and identity. Plus, you amplify it. You can get a deeper perspective and understanding of someone. What is interesting about having the center undefined is that you may also find yourself feeling like you're not lovable. Since your identity shifts from place to place, person to person, how you receive love, direction, and purpose also shifts. You can feel lost as you search for purpose, but that's only because that's how we have defined what purpose may look like to each and every one of us. But part of your purpose of both having an undefined identity center is experiencing other people. And honestly, this makes you someone who can sit at a table with anyone. You can have a very vast and diverse friend group. So now let's get into this gate 46. If you have gate 46 defined, you need movement. And if you're like me and you're a generator or you're a manifesting generator, you need movement even more so. You're someone who can't just go to a 9 to 5 and sit behind a computer and dilly-dally in a spreadsheet all day and be super happy. No, you have to get up, you have to move your body, you might have to go on a walk in the morning, go for a walk over your lunch. It's just so much more important for you to move, and even more so to express your body and enjoy your body for what it is. If you have gate 46 defined, you are here to learn how to embrace and nurture your body through things like exercise, self-care rituals, and food in a way that brings your body to its fullest potential. Because by doing so, you will embody love. And that love is going to radiate out of you and into the people that you surround yourself with, into what you create and how you express yourself in life. And what usually happens when you do this? Living at your highest expression of this gate will shift your frequency and attract things to you in a variety of ways. Doesn't that sound lovely? Well, let me tell you, it is. I have lived in alignment with this gate before, and I have also lived in its shadow. And honestly, we all do this. It's really normal. It's part of what we're here to do and what we're here to learn. Since this is my only gate in the identity center, my body is part of my identity. And being a previous college athlete, that made a lot of sense to me from day one. After college swimming ended for me, I really did lose that connection. My body was exhausted. I have PCOS, or polycystic ovarian syndrome, and my hormones are a mess because of it. And during my time away from college swimming, I gained a bit of weight. I felt disconnected. I felt directionless. And honestly, I was pretty frustrated because I felt like my body was failing me. And then something shifted. I changed my environment. So that is everything for someone with an undefined identity center. I left a job I didn't care for. I put in some boundaries with what I was wanting in a job. And I surrounded myself with people who cared about their health and who lived the lifestyle that I desired. And once my environment changed, my body started to follow along. I dropped 25 pounds, but more importantly, I found my way back to my main passion. I went back to swimming. I rejoined my master's team, which actually I was really lucky. I had my college coach as my master's coach, which allowed me to push my own boundaries and really test my body in ways that I had done before, but like decades later. And it allowed me to start competing again. And when I did that, this fire came back within me. I was eating healthy the way that is very important for someone with PCOS. So I was really practicing gluten-free, dairy-free. Um, I had cut out alcohol for part of my training. I had been focusing on my sleep. I'd been reducing stress. But honestly, when I was doing this, I didn't know anything about human design, let alone gate 46. All I knew is that when I took care of my body and aligned myself with the right people, things just started to flow again. And it wasn't as if I was trying to manifest anything. I was just living in alignment without realizing it. I actually find that this is something that most of my clients experience as well. They may feel like they're stuck, but they are living primarily in alignment, but we just have to tweak a few things or cause some more awareness and experimentation to get them back to where they want to be. So, as I was doing this and living in my alignment with this gate, life started responding to me. And I began attracting opportunities and people like my husband that matched my energy that I was finally giving myself. So let's fast forward in this story, but it really is obviously going backwards. But right when COVID hit, that was when I fell out of alignment. Like everyone, almost overnight, I lost my structure, I lost my rhythm, and with all that, I lost my connection with the pool. So I lost my identity. Eventually, the pool would reopen, but practices were structured differently, and which is so weird to think, like we couldn't use the locker rooms. I had to race home, shower, and log in for my corporate job, which, by the way, was so micromanaging everything at the time. That setup in my corporate life was a nightmare for someone like myself with a third line and individual circuitry. Tell me what to do and how to do it, and my energy just tanks. So I burned out pretty fast. Eventually, Brad and I moved to St. Louis, which, it did change my environment, but not for the better. My health did not bounce back. It tanked even harder. And 2 years later, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And suddenly, everything I knew about my body and my energy changed. And, everything's fine right now, but I had to face what my new normal might look like, including what my body might look like. I knew that there would be months where I couldn't swim, let alone like lift 10 pounds. And that was difficult for me to really sit with at times. But when I finally joined my master team that's here in St. Louis, it was as if my body couldn't keep up with the idea that I had in my head, and my passion, while it was still somewhat there, it was not lit up. Like the excitement was not there. So I was just kind of teeter-tottering between, is this something I really want, or am I forcing myself? And that's when my not self theme, for a generator, it's frustration. That's when that frustration came in a lot. It felt like nothing was working. And so I was trying out, yay, my third line. I started experimenting with different ways to move my body. But every once in a while, my body I would just get sick. I would try something new, and then out of nowhere, I would get sick for like a week, and then I would have to rebuild my momentum. And then, of course, with being of my age, I am just starting my perimenopause journey over the last 8 to 12 months. If you have perimenopause, or you're going through it, or have been, or in menopause, that is a journey in itself. And in the last, maybe 6 months, my energy felt like it would reset every 4 weeks with my cycle. So every single month, every single cycle, I was rebuilding from zero. I wouldn't even say it's humbling. I would still say it's very frustrating, and caused me to fall into more of a deeper shadow of gate 46 where I didn't want to do anything at all because it was almost like, why would I even bother? But I had to remind myself that my body wasn't the problem. It's my teacher. When my body says to slow down, I either can listen to it or I can push through, and that never really works. So, what am I doing about this right now? First, I'm honoring my energy. I mentioned this in the first episode of the series that I'm a different type of generator. I'm a generator with a lot of undefined and open centers, so I just can't push through like I had in the past. So I'm having to play with different workouts that support me and don't overly punish me. Second, I'm actually keeping my cycle in mind. It helps with my sanity. So some days I do a 45-minute incline walk and some stretching. Other days I do a 30-minute run and weightlifting. And even other days I do a tone class and some physical therapy. So pushing hard every day from what I now know about what my body and my energy are like in this phase of my life is just a shortcut to burnout. So I just can't do that to myself. Third, as I've kind of dabbled into this in this conversation, I am treating my movement like an experiment. So I need to practice this a lot more, but I have in the past, like last week especially, like what's bringing me joy, what's really exciting me. And over the last few weeks, what's really getting me excited is when I'm at the gym and I'm lifting and I can see definition in my arms from being a little bit more consistent in my lifting days. That progress really does make me excited. It makes my sacral turn on fire. It makes me think, I'm like, how many more lifting days can I add in, or lifting workouts can I add into my workout routine? Because I'm starting to feel that drive again. And this is something that I'm focusing on instead of a numbers on a scale. Next, I'm paying attention to what my body really wants to eat. And I don't mean junk food. I am definitely someone where there's another gate in my chart that pairs with survival and eating and overeating habits. And so I have to pay attention to this as well. But with gate 46, I'm really trying to listen to my body. If my body wants something, I know that the best thing for it is gluten-free and dairy-free. And when I stick with it, holy cow, especially if I stick with it for months on end, my body feels electric. And I cannot wait to get back to that because this is one of my hardest most difficult tests that I do for myself because it's so hard, especially around the holidays, to be gluten-free and dairy-free. And I have to be honest too, like I love ice cream and it is my kryptonite. Yes, I know there's dairy-free ones that exist. Yes, I know there's vegan ice cream, but it is so, it is so hard. I know that I can do it. I've done it before. So we'll see how this goes. And last but not least, I actually was told by a doctor earlier this summer, gosh, it was like in June, my doctor, that I needed to step away from swimming because I was starting to get some swelling by my incision. So I was developing signs of lymphedema. And while I did not have lymphedema, I went and got physical therapy. And that was extremely helpful of noticing muscle fatigue, muscle loss since having surgery, as well as noting how to help take care of myself that wasn't fully explained after my surgery. This is just sadly sometimes what happens, and we all can drop the ball. So no blame there. But I now know how to take care of myself and the things that I need to do. And my physical therapist has said, you have graduated. You don't need to come here anymore. And she wants me to get back in the water. So this makes me extremely happy. And I'm going to plan to get back in the water next year because it really does make me excited. I've said this before on different podcast episodes, even before I was doing human design, that water just makes me feel complete. So I cannot wait to get back in. But Overall, every time I prioritize my health, life shifts in ways that I can't logically explain. The magnetism that human design talks about, the energy that draws things in when you're aligned, is so real. Sometimes it just takes digging deeper and playing with what you already have. That's what Gate 46 is really all about. It's not about having a perfect body. It's about respecting the body that you're in as the vehicle for everything you create. Your body is your feedback system. It tells you when you're aligned and when you're not. It's not against you. It's just trying to get your attention. So for me, love of the body is not sentimental. It's practical. It's waking up and choosing myself. It's choosing my energy, my voice, my impact. And when I do that, everything else works better. My creativity, my relationships, my business even, that's alignment in action. If you've been fighting your body or feeling frustrated that it's not what it used to be, ask yourself, what would change if I treated my body like a partner instead of a project? That's the embodiment of Gate 46. Now, lady, if you loved this episode, maybe it hit home and you're ready to see how your own design shows up for you in your life, I'd love to help. You can book a human design reading to dive into your chart. I can review your questions. So that means we can get into some of your energy patterns, maybe your not self and self theme, even maybe into your gates to see what alignment may look like for you. Or if you're ready to go deeper, my one-on-one coaching helps you peel back those outer layers of conditioning that I mentioned before, so you can start to feel more like your design while experimenting along the way. I do offer coaching at a sliding scale, but these are opportunities that are limited. So if you're interested in either of those, check them out in the show notes. Also, your energy and action starter kit, as well as your human design chart, if you do not have that yet, are also located in the show notes. And don't forget, your chart is the map, but embodiment, that is the journey. This is what we are here to experiment with. All right, lady, I'm going to be back tomorrow, and I'm going to be sharing how I redefined success for myself. If you are a projector, success is your signature theme. And I know that that may hit home for you, as well as if you are a manifesting generator and you are hustling like nobody else's business, or if you don't even know your energy type and you are hustling, or you have way too much on your plate and you don't know what to do and what to take off, tomorrow's episode is right for you right now, especially before we head into the holiday season. All right, lady, have a good rest of your day, and I will be back with you tomorrow. Thank you, lady, for joining me on this journey of aligning, embodying, and rising into your most authentic self. Remember, the most important relationship you have is the one you have with yourself. And when you do the inner work, you naturally attract the love and life meant for you. If today's episode resonated with you, I'd love for you to rate and review the show. Your feedback not only helps more women discover the power of self-transformation, but also helps us grow this community. If you're ready to go deeper and align with a relationship and life you truly desire, I invite you to explore my coaching services. Together, we'll use human design, NLP techniques, and self-empowerment tools to help you break through old patterns and create a life that resonates with who you truly are. Visit reinventingthearena.com to learn more and take the next steps in your journey of self-discovery and alignment. Until next time, lady, keep aligning, keep embodying, and keep rising. Thanks for listening to Reinventing the Arena.